So turning up at the funerals of dead soldiers with signs like this is just one of the most disgusting things that you can actually do. Callously taking the grief of the relatives of dead soldiers and using that as a springboard to talk about your crazy religion. That's just messed up. But surely modern feminists of the professional victim sort would never stoop that low, right? Well, post-traumatic stress disorder is frequently found in soldiers who have experienced combat. War is ugly, and it leaves its scars on everyone it touches.
Called in with some artillery and some napalm and things like that. Some innocent women and children got hit. We met them on the road, and they had little girls with noses blowing off, and like husbands carrying their dead wives and things like that. That was extremely difficult to deal with because you're like, shoot. Like, what the hell do we do now?
Well, Melody Hensley, that's the DC Executive Director for the Center for Inquiry, and a staunch feminist, claims that she has got post-traumatic stress disorder from Twitter. Now, many would just regard that as incredibly stupid. I mean, it's like saying I've got post-traumatic stress disorder because my cookie won't dunk into my milk, or that I've got PTSD because the shampoo and the conditioner never run out at the same time, or that I've got PTSD from playing Call of Duty. It simply trivializes and undermines the serious nature of the condition. She even goes on to say how just asking her questions like, how does your Twitter PTSD compare to the PTSD someone would get from being raped, is actually the very harassment that gave her PTSD in the first place. But this is where it goes into full God hates fags mode. If you're in the military and are harassing me about my PTSD, that's her Twitter PTSD, expect that I will be speaking to your commanding officer. Even for a feminist, that is really, really messed up. You tell her that the post-traumatic stress disorder that people get from watching people they know, love, and care about being blown up in front of their eyes is really, really not the same thing as someone calling you Smelody on Twitter. You tell her that, and she'll try and mess up your career. And she just goes on and on about it. Military, ex-military combat folks, there are groups that have higher statistics of PTSD than you. You need to educate yourselves. Oh, that's wonderfully compassionate and sympathetic to combat veterans with PTSD. And this week has been tough. There's been a campaign against me. I'm blocking dozens of accounts of people telling me I don't have PTSD and threats. Oh, well, aren't you a bloody hero, Melody? And then she replies to, you wouldn't talk about it if you had PTSD, by saying, according to my psychologist, anything that makes me feel in control is good for my health, even if it involves trying to mess up the careers of combat veterans with PTSD simply so you can feel in control. And this is no hypothetical about she will try and mess up your career. This is what she says. I get it every day. I've decided I'm contacting commanding officers, as I just did. They had their info on their Twitter. I just contacted someone's commanding officer. Really, Melody, you tried to mess up someone's military career because they didn't think that you had post-traumatic stress disorder from Twitter. And personally, I think it's optimistic beyond hope that after you contacted their employer simply because it was on Twitter, that you're not going to get an awful lot of very angry veterans contacting the Center for Inquiry, which you have chosen to so very prominently display on your Twitter account. You are self-centered and despicable beyond words. Dear feminists, I want to make this loud and clear. You do not get criticism because you are outspoken women, as people like Anita Sarkeesian, Rebecca Watson, and Melody Hensley would claim. No more than Westboro Baptist Church gets criticized for being vocally religious. You get the criticism you do because of the stupid, or actually more accurately in this case, the utterly contemptible things that you say. Pissing all over the self-same people who have put their lives on the line in an effort to maintain the very blanket of freedom that you sleep under. You poison everything.